Now, it's my privilege to present the biography of Jan Barham. Jan grew up in Wollongong and after matriculation moved to Newcastle. So we like that here. We like a bit of Newcastle cred. To attend university, but spent most of her time at art school, typical. After studying fashion at East Sydney Tech and working in the Sydney fashion industry for 10 years, she moved to Byron in 1989 and became involved with local environment groups. In 1992, Jan joined the Greens and worked on the 1993 federal election campaign and was Tweed Byron Greens secretary in 1993 to 1994. And in 1994 was assistant secretary to the New South Wales Greens. Jan was also the secretary of the Byron Shire Businesses for the Future for 4 years, during which time the group successfully challenged the Club Med approval for Byron Bay. Not sure what Club Med is, but it sounds pretty revolting, so I'm glad that was a good decision. I was in kindergarten at the time. My activism hadn't evolved quite. I was still working on the canteen lunch campaign. In 1994 to 1995, she worked on the state election campaign as assistant to Ian Cohen, and when he was elected to Parliament, she was appointed as an advisor and researcher. In 1999, Jan was elected to Byron Shire Council, and in 2004 became Australia's first popularly elected Green Mayor. And was re-elected in 2008. In 2011, who are you again? Sorry. Just Australia's first, Anyway, Jan was elected to the New South Wales Legislative Council and has responsibilities for the portfolio areas: Aboriginal Affairs, Ageing and Disability, Art, Family and Community Services, Housing and Homelessness, and Tourism. Jan will finish her term on Byron Shire Council in September after 13 years. Jan Barham.
First of all, I'd like to acknowledge that we're on the land of the Awabakal and the Warramai people and pay respect to elders, past and present. And it's great to come to Newcastle because I've been hearing so much about it from lots of different people who feel that there's such a revival going on in Newcastle now. So I'm thrilled about that because when I was here 20 years ago, it was very much an arts community. And we were doing great things down in the wharves that were down, I think the Honeysuckle is now. The sheds down there, we had theatre going and concerts and lots of wild, crazy art stuff. And the art school was doing really well, and the Castanet Club used to live around the corner from me in Cooks Hill. And it was vibrant, and I think that's the sense I get of Newcastle again. It's a place that people are talking about. I know that I've heard funny things about the Renew Newcastle, but there's a lot going on with that across the country. Lismore Council's taken on board the Renew idea of getting shop fronts used for local art and crafts, and so I think good things are coming out of here. But I'm here to tell you about how much I love local government, even though I'm getting out, but 13 years is a long time to do one thing, and it's been a great time for me. I was certainly inspired by other people like John Sutton. I think Newcastle must have been one of the first councils that had local government elected. Was it you and Marrickville? The first? Bruce Welsh, same year, wasn't it, 91? Yeah, Byron Shire didn't get a Green councillor till 95. But very much inspired by what Newcastle achieved in local government by having a Green member elected. And I think our time has come. In the last term, we've seen so many Greens across the state really convincing people that we are okay, we are not scary, we do care about people, we focus on lots of different issues. I personally have learned so much about sewage treatment plants. And I love them. I talk about them all the time. I scare engineers because I know so much about black boxes and pipes and things, because being a majority Green council, we were able to ensure that our infrastructure is ecological as well. And I think that's part of what Greens bring to local government, doing things a bit differently. It's very much the tag of being green, that you look at things and think, well, how can we do it better? How can you apply our ecological and social principles? And I think all across the state we've done that. I'll just make the point of explaining Club Med. Club Med used to be one of the world's biggest. No, it's great. It's great you don't know because it means we succeeded. I'll take credit for that. Club Med used to be a big tourism organisation. It used to come in and take over a place. They've done it all around the world, take over a bit of prime real estate and do... like a McDonald's type resort, the same thing all over the world. They bring it in, just homogenise tourism. And that's what happened when I moved to Byron. Just after I'd moved, they announced they were coming. And that was partly why I got involved with local government, because I realised my council, they said yes, despite everyone saying no. And at the same time, the state government said yes. And that was when I realised that I needed to get involved in politics, and I'd resisted it for so long after growing up in Wollongong, because I saw a very unpleasant side of politics. But with the Greens and the inspiration of Bob Brown, the Franklin campaign, all the activism that was happening at the time with the Daintree, the Northeast Forests, seeing that politics could be done differently attracted me to it, which was surprising not only to me but to many of my friends who thought I'd absolutely lost it. What was I doing joining a political party and giving my life over to being an activist, and was seen as a bit of a crazy thing to do. But that's the wonderful thing when you've got inspirational people around you, and someone like Bob, who, I mean, we all love Bob, and what a wonderful career he's had, and he's inspired so many of us that you can believe that you can do anything when you've got that sort of inspiration. And that was certainly the way it was for me, and the idea that we could stop a multinational was, why not? You know, a community didn't want it, so we should be able to stop it. And I spent 4 years on that campaign, and we did win in court, and I was just seeing Susie Russell the other day, and that's when I first met her. We were in the Land Environment Court. They were doing the Wingham Forest Action court case, and we were on the top floor of the Land and Environment Court, Byron rat bags in one court and the Northeast Forest Alliance and Wingham crew in the other, and we both won. And that was an amazing thing in 1993. For people, to challenge the system, and I think that vitality that came to politics and communities all around the country has served us all well. I think we should all feel really proud of what we've been able to achieve as a group and how we've changed the way people relate to politics. And at the moment, I'm just so excited watching the whole CSG campaign. I never even imagined it could be that amazing in Parliament last week. The crowd outside the Parliament to protest and stand united. You know, the classic. I'm a CWA member. Very proud. Very proud, because it took me a long time. 20 years ago, they didn't want to know about me. But once I became mayor, it was okay. But as Carrie knows, you know, I knit, I do preserves, I sew, I do all the right stuff. But they thought I was a bit weird and radical, but now they accept me. And so I was there with my CWA badge on the other day and my no gas on the other side, and it was a beautiful thing that we've finally got to the point where people understand what we're about and they respect us for it. They're willing to stand beside us, the farmers and all those other people in the community, that as long as you don't say precautionary principle, as long as you say, oh, it's about the future, and you know, you want your kids to have a lifestyle or be able to have a farm so they can earn a living, it's okay. I think sometimes we lose people with our language, but the principles are there and everyone's understanding it. It's about caring for the future, caring for the land, those precious resources, and the social aspect. I found it such a buzz, and I think everyone did except the government, who were fearful, and then Fraser got up and told them to shut up. He didn't get a good response at all, because these are the people that should be with government, should be with the coalition, and they're feeling betrayed, as we all have for so long. So we're standing with some fine company at the moment, and I think it's scaring the major parties, but for us, I think it's where we should be, with the community, against corporations, against extraction and destroying the environment. And I feel like our time has come, despite how strange it is out there with the sort of election swings that are happening and the potential change of government where we'll end up with coalition at state and federal level. But our time is right in terms of grassroots strength and commitment that's flowing through. So September's going to be wonderful for local government, and especially for me with getting out of it. So for all those people that stand for local government, I have absolute respect and admiration, because I know, as Hannah said, that it's hard. You give a lot, and for all those people that are partners of people who do local government, thank you for what must be at times a very frustrating lifestyle, and for offering the support and the encouragement that people need. We do this together, we do it as a group. Your local group is so important. I think we've got 2 groups in here in the room tonight. I know we've got Lake Macquarie at the back of the room.
Some other group too.
And another group? Is there another group as well? This is good. For local groups, the importance of coming together, and there's someone here tonight that is not a member but is coming along, and I've told her that sometimes meetings can be a little bit boring, but they can also, the great thing about the Greens, if meetings aren't your thing, then you change the way you do meetings and make them fun. You know, turn them into a knitting circle, or do a policy meeting and let some other people do all the admin. As long as they show their minutes and you know you all get to see it, you know what they're doing, it's okay. But we need to keep having fun. We need to keep having discussion, and I'm a great advocate for us being able to have a place where we can air some of our different views. I think it's really important for the Greens to do that, because we learn so much. I certainly have found in local government, I've learned a lot from people who oppose me, when you get that chance to sit and listen to them and find out, you know, where they're coming from. And I've changed my mind sometimes, which I feel, you know, great joy in being able to do that, to have someone bring new information to me. So as a group and as a movement, I think it's important that we're really open to different ideas and being able to honestly and reasonably discuss issues and hear difference. It's a bit of the therapy stuff about being in the Greens, I think. You know, you're with like-minded people who allow you to express and to share those emotions. So for all you people doing local government, I wish you well. It's going to be an interesting time. I think Bob Brown is trying to make his way around New South Wales a bit before elections to sort of rev everyone up. We're lucky we're having him up at our Byron Bay Writers Festival, if any of you are interested in coming up in August. It's a great event. But Bob will be, he's very aware of the local government elections happening in New South Wales and how difficult a time it is with the coalition government. So I think he's making a special effort to try and visit as many groups as possible. He's also doing the Bellingen Energy Festival. So if you haven't done so already, you know, give him a call, send an email, and not that Bob answers emails, but send it to his office. He's never done technology, I love that. He might have to now. But he will be making himself available, and I think the world has seen with Bob that you can have a politician with integrity, and people, even if they don't agree with him, they do trust him, and that's what we can all aspire to, being those sort of people in our communities and winning their trust and their support. So at election time, you're going to get 3, is that right? 4! Well done. Okay, you get 4, and we'll all be happy, and so good luck with it. Thank you so much for having me. I really feel good to be here and feel confident that you're going to do well in the campaign.